you are the best realtor ever, number one. You are in your element. If you're an agent who's newer, or if you're middle of the road, you've got a couple years under your belt, like, this is just a phase. Whether it's a good phase or a bad phase, it's just a phase, and this phase will end, and you'll be into something new in only a matter of time.
Those are the type of things I think agents really need to do, is get back to those basics, do the open houses, network with other real estate agents. Even on social media, you can network with other real estate agents across the country.
Like, suit up, have like a 9 to 5, get out of the house in the morning, go to those networking events, go to those lunches, get some face-to-faces in.
If you're not slammed with business, like, that's the time and the opportunity to improve your business.
Welcome to the Market Authority Show. I'm your host, Stephanie Lugo. If you have found your way here, you are a real estate pro who's ready to transition from chasing leads to getting dream clients to chase you. This podcast is where you will learn the business and systems strategies you need to grow your real estate business so that you can get paid consistently, connect with dream clients, and keep your sanity. Let's get to it. This is our 10th year. Almost.
No, it is our 10th year.
Yeah.
This is starting, we've started the 10th. No.
Yeah, because we got licensed in the fall.
We got licensed in December of 2014, and then we were active with our license at our brokerage and selling in January of 2015.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
do you feel old? Does that make you feel old? That doesn't make me feel old, but...
Well, it's funny. When I think about how long we've been in it, it's funny to think that, like, we were just, I was in late 20s, mid 20s when we got licensed, and you were like 21. Mm-hmm. And now you're, this rockin' mom real estate agent. So kind of not old, but, definitely feel like, we've got some experience and age and time in this business now.
What does that feel like to you at this point? Like, what does it feel like to have that experience and time? Where do you see that show through the most?
Well, just comfort in a couple of things. I remember getting into real estate and talking to agents that had been in it for a while, where a lot of their business would become repeat business. So we're at this is something I do actually like, is at the stage of 10 years, it was 2 days ago, I got a text from someone who wants to buy a house, who was referred to us by a past client. And it's something that just happens more commonly. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like you have to necessarily chase, business in a way, because it does, like, even the past clients, like, they reach out, we see them, it's just more fluid. Yeah. The business. And I remember seeing that with 10-year agents and thinking, like, wow, that's cool. I really hope that we get to that point, because it is something that you can begin to expect, I think, more. Yeah. Not rely on, but you can expect that sort of stuff. So having the time in the business helps.
For me, it feels less scary. Like, if I remember like that, I remember the fear of, like, what if I say something that's wrong, or what if they ask me a question that I don't know? And now it's almost this kind of like quiet assurance of, like, we're almost certainly going to be asked something that we don't know. That's kind of the point. Like, every real estate transaction is different. Every client journey is different. There's, like, always something different happening. And then certainly the market is changing constantly.
Yeah. What's nice is while there are all these different experiences and aspects that we come across, we've had so many different ones that we've experienced a lot, that we do come across a lot of stuff that we've been through before too. Yeah. Especially, like, if you help out first-time home buyers, that one specifically, or first-time home sellers, we've experienced a lot of what they've gone through, one for ourselves and two for our clients. So, like, we can provide, some sort of relief with, explaining situations and processes, which I think helps a lot.
How do you say that to a newer agent who, because I know how I navigate that, but saying that to a newer agent and giving them that advice of, like, well, it's going to feel weird. It's going to feel scary at first, and you just kind of have to go through it. And then at some point you look around and you're like, okay, I can do this. I'm resourceful enough to navigate situations I haven't been in before, but at some point it feels a little bit more comfortable. How would you say that to a new agent without it sounding like a cop out? Because sometimes it feels like a cop out.
I don't, honestly, I don't know. What I would tell a new agent, honestly, like if they had concern of like, well, what do I do and what do I say when I am coming up with like, or coming across these new situations? Because if you're new, you haven't been here, unless you bought a house, then you have a little bit of experience and knowledge. But like, one of the biggest things I've told new agents is you really need a mentor. Like, I know that's not what this podcast is about, but like when we were new, we had the benefit of having the owners of our brokerage like at our fingertips. And they definitely helped early on stages, although we were just kind of thrown in it and expected to do so much on our own. But like, if you don't have someone that you can reach out to or, ask these questions to, like even today, I still ask people questions because like you said, we come across situations that we've never been in before. But when I do talk to new agents that get their license, I try to advise them like, hey, look, you're going to come across things that you don't know, and it's okay not to know, but you need to have someone you can look to or ask questions to. Like that to me is one of the biggest helpful things you can do when you get into real estate, is have some sort of support system above you.
Yeah. What are you excited about for this year?
For us specifically?
Yeah.
Like for us, because I mean, I feel like this last year was crazy for us in our household, just like with having our second son in November of 22 and him just growing last year, and our oldest growing with a new, a brother in the house. To me, I'm really looking forward to getting back to a lot of basics for us, because it's a tricky market in general. We see a lot of agents getting out of this business because they've had such tough, several months. This last year of 2023, like people struggled, it seems like, in this business. So going back to basics and getting in touch with what selling is and how to do it, and being able to come to an office space and actually do some work.
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to finding success where we used to, and tapping into serving our clients like we used to.
Yeah. It was hard to do that. And even in obviously 2020 changed everything for a lot of reasons for us.
We didn't get to tap in with our clients like we used to.
And it was an insanely good year.
Yeah.
Like up until that point, 2020 was like the best year. 2021 was then the best year. 2022, a really good year. Yeah. Almost the best year, but just shy. And at the same time, in 2020 was when obviously the pandemic happened, changed everything about how we moved through the day. And we had our first son. And so much had to change so quickly. And luckily we had done the hard work up until then of like building up that client base, building up that network, building that brand reputation on and off social media. Like it did a lot for us.
Yeah.
But even then, over the last couple of years, you almost didn't have time to do the basics because there was so much just like facilitating transactions that were flying at us so fast. It was so crazy for a while.
I agree. And then, but on top of it, I guess for me is like finding new routines, like, because it's all changing for us when we had our kids. And then, now one is in school. So like, that's a whole nother change to the routine. So trying to find the routine that makes sense to fit into our business while, accommodating his needs, getting him ready for school, and then like pick up for school, and all this stuff is different. So going back to keeping it simple, and getting, into a routine that's going to make sense for us, or for me in this case.
I think one of the best things that we did was we got an office space.
Yeah,
Like
for you,
for me, but
it frees up the office at home for me.
It frees up the office at home for you. It's I love working from home.
Right.
I'm a homebody. I love working from home. Like that's where my comfort zone is. But with the kids at home, I mean, they're toddlers. They're freaking loud, and it was so hard. So like moving the coaching space here was really helpful, just so I had like that like third space, outside of the house. But I also found that like just changing up the environment after what were such a couple stressful years, like I feel a lot more inspired for this year. I feel more like zoned in, more focused. I mean, I'm also not like manic depressive like I was last year from postpartum depression and stuff, which sucked.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
And that had a big effect on like, how we handle business altogether. So,
yeah.
But I agree having that, like for me, you having a space, you're out of the office at home. Now you have your own office here. We have, space here, and then we've got the office at home for whatever we need. But getting up and like doing the routine, getting Grady to school, and then being able to do 3 hours of set work, right? And then Grady again, and then back to work. Like having that is going to change. And I feel very positive for 2024.
Me too. You know what's so funny? When I talk to realtors who are like that middle of the road realtor, they're like maybe 5 years in, a lot of times what I hear is like, well, I feel like I should just have it figured out by now. Or like, I don't feel, I feel like I'm really getting there. Like I've actually made it. It's like one of the two, like I haven't made it, or I feel like I finally made it. And there is that sense of like making it past those first years. Cause there's no way through it. Like you can't go around it. You can't go above it. In the first couple of years as a real estate agent, it's kind of like raising toddlers. Like it's kind of like having kids, because like you're straight up survival mode and you're just hoping to make it through another day, especially as a newer agent. Or at least that's how I felt a little bit with you. And we did really good. Mm-hmm. Like we did exceptionally well during our first year. And then the subsequent years. But even now, 10 years in the business, like there's always room for new beginnings. And I feel like this is a big year of new beginnings. Like it's that new face of our business. But it does all start with going back to basics. But I think that just goes to show, like, if you're an agent who's newer, or if you're middle of the road, you've got a couple years under your belt, like this is just a phase. Whether it's a good phase or a bad phase, it's just a phase, and this phase will end. And you'll be into something new in only a matter of time. But having those basics to fall back on when it's time to like kind of restart is super helpful. So that's what we call our oh shit list. So we can talk about the oh shit list a little bit. And for me, the oh shit list is like, oh shit, oh crap. Sorry if your ears are sensible. What do we like? We need to drum up business. We need to restart. And in 10 years, there have been many of those moments for us. I'm thinking of one specifically, like 2018 was just a wretched year for us. Sure. And do you remember what happened in 2018? It was kind of just everything. We had just gotten back from our honeymoon. We were traveling a lot the year before. We had just gotten married. So like our eye was totally off the ball. Yeah. And like it was a very slow year for real estate.
I think we're just celebrating just life.
And we kind of probably thought we had made it, because at that point we were like 3 or 4 years into the business. Yeah. We're like, oh, we got this. Yeah. And then like business slowed down big time. And then we ended up turning it around again, getting back to basics. And 2019 was like, it couldn't have been more different.
Yeah, from there on.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about like what that process looks like. Getting back into the basics, revamping the biz. What steps are we taking?
Yeah. So for me, one of the most important things is, I mentioned it earlier, is just the routine, like not just fumbling through the day. Right. So like waking up, having a purpose, a set, schedule, if you will, of what am I doing today, instead of just walking into the office and sitting in a chair and then going out and hanging out with one of the boys or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
Obviously that wasn't the case in 2018, but it was very similar in the sense of like, what do we need to do? Where do we need to be? Who do we need to be in front of? And, what's the best use of our time?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just always going out to eat and spending time at different real estate, functions and happy hours. Now those can be good, but, we still have those and did implement those into our business because, some of our best clients were referred to us by other agents. So stuff like that makes sense. But getting back to basics and just setting that routine.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I have to be in an office. I want to go to the office. I want to, feel like I'm seeing other activities happen, like other real estate activities happen. So
you get a lot of energy from that. You get a lot of energy from being in a busy environment.
Just other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't even necessarily have to be in like a real estate office, but like in an office where other people are like,
Mm-hmm.
you see them working and grinding and, creating business in a sense.
Yeah.
And, work out of the lender's office or something like that too. Like you see it happening and it just like motivates you to either, at least me, will motivate you to, touch base, reach out with past clients, come up with a game plan for how to serve your clients better. That's kind of what we're doing right now too, just to help amplify 2024. It's what we're about to kind of like really implement,
Yeah.
In our business is back to basics and how do we get it all accomplished for 2024. I think this year we're going to be doing client appreciation parties again, which we just did our first one in 3 years at the end of 2023.
Yeah, it was great.
Right.
And we were kind of nervous about it because like we hadn't done one for a while, but we had been really big on doing them for years and years up until the pandemic. And then almost right up until the pandemic.
But I think that we didn't even start them again until like that, really start them until we had those off years, right? Or
no, we started it the first year.
I don't even remember.
We had it in August, or not August, but we had it in the fall that first year at OSO. And remember we got all the koozies that were still Lugo & Co., which was our old branding.
Yeah.
And we invited basically everybody.
Yeah, our
knew.
whole friends list, kind of.
Yeah. And I thought that was really good. So like one thing that I had thought when we got into the business, we were in the business for like maybe a month or two and we were at a happy hour. We were doing a lot of that with other agents and stuff, which was helpful. But this other agent we were talking to, his wife had thrown him a party to like celebrate him getting into the business.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we were like, oh, should we throw ourselves a party? and we didn't end up doing that, but we did throw like kind of a client appreciation event at the end of our first year, just to celebrate having done the first year and to thank our friends and family for having supported us. Yeah. Even if they had just like liked our post or because we were on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And there was back in 2015,
That's
we were
right.
like posting lives on Facebook from our open houses and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember that on 13th, that one.
Oh yeah, on our first listing.
That was like when you were really starting it.
And we did. We had so many open houses.
Yeah, we used to do them all the time.
At that listing specifically. And remember how we got that first listing?
Yeah, from going to a real estate networking event.
Mm-hmm.
It was a mastermind.
But that's one thing that we did really well. So like, and that was all you. That was you saying, because I'm the introvert. I want to stay at home and I want to tinker. But you were like, listen, like we're getting into real estate. This is from our 9-to-5s. We need to like lean on that structure. We need to have that like sense of routine again. And you had us like suiting up. We used to call it suiting up.
Yeah, we dressed up pretty well, and then we took our open house signs that
every single day we'd be out.
Yeah, they were heavy
9 to 5.
Those were the metal ones.
Mm-hmm.
How
but if we weren't doing, I hated it.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like have any desire with open house signs. Like those are so hard. And I was like all pissed off carrying these steel A-frame open house signs that were banging against my legs walking down the street.
When you're in heels.
When in heels, of course. Yeah. But I thought that was really smart. And that's advice that I always love giving agents now is like, if you need to like kickstart something, if you need to revamp in your business, get out of the house.
Yeah.
Like suit up, have like a 9-to-5, get out of the house in the morning, go to those networking events, go to those lunches, get some face-to-faces in, do the milk route. Like we used to drop coffees off at people.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of you. And if that hadn't been you pushing, I would have been like, no, I'm just going to sit at home and tinker on our third website, which I also did that year. I think we went through like 3 different websites that year.
Yeah.
None of them ended up lasting.
Well, we have one now.
Yeah, because we got a professional to do it.
Yeah. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, what was the question?
Like the oh shit plan. So I guess like for the oh shit plan, if you need to revamp your business, if you're like, you gotta like get it started, get out of the house, get a routine.
Yeah, I would do both those things. And as a, if you're really wanting to restart again, I think that with as many buyers are on the fence right now, by the way, just like thinking about this, with as many buyers on the fence, I'd be doing as many open houses as you could.
Yeah.
I think that's, just back on the open house thing, even though you don't like setting up signs, there's businesses out there that do that for people too. Right. If you're that agent that doesn't want to set them up or doesn't even own signs, for less than $100, you could probably have signs set up, 15 signs somewhere. I know they do that here. And, but those are the type of things I think agents really, really need to do is get back to those basics, do the open houses, network with other real estate agents. Even on social media, you can network with other real estate agents across the country. We get referrals regularly from other agents because of just you networking with them on social media, and then through the program too.
Yeah.
But going back to those sort of things where you're just serving clients and serving the community with real estate, helping in some way, whether it's, giving out home valuations to your past clients, making sure that they are tuned in with where the market is. We got so many buyers that are unsure of what to do this year because one, it's also an election year, and rates have been, pretty high the last year or so. So just being someone who can provide information to these people, it's just basic stuff.
Yeah, I one thing you said yesterday, because we're having a little bit of a business planning sesh at some point. One thing you said yesterday was you were like, I feel like it's time to go back through our systems again. And we talk about systems a lot, especially certainly on the podcast and on the YouTube channel, but it's really just a reflection of like what we're constantly thinking of, which is like just making sure we have our stuff under control. And with how much stuff has changed for us, you can't untangle what's happening in your personal life with your business because it's so reflective. Like if you are going through it, your business is going to go through it. You really can't untangle that. And because last year was such a crazy, personally challenging year for us, it is time to look back at those systems and think like, okay, what's serving us now with our new routines? What's serving us now? What is the market needing? How are we needing to just like continue to optimize? Is there anything like specifically that you're thinking of that you want to really hone in on, like something that you for sure is like are thinking that needs an update?
Just the biggest thing to me that I feel like I have, or we as like our real estate business has let slip is just the client experience.
Yeah.
We've been so good at it for so long, but we've been, within the last 18 months when, the tail end of your pregnancy through, Graham getting to where he is now, it's just been so hard that our time with our past clients and our friends, which are, all of our past clients have become such good friends, our time with them has, it's kind of like disappeared. Right. And a lot of them have had their things. They've had kids and, started their families. So
we're all still learning how to put together a schedule that involves play dates and stuff.
Yeah. We used to have clients over for, clients and friends. That's interchangeable to me because that all of our clients are friends of ours. But we used to have people over for dinner. Like it was like once a week or every other week, it seemed like at our house, we had a dinner date and it was so fun again before the boys, but our boys are awesome. We can still do that sort of stuff, whether it's that or going out for coffee. Like to me, one of my biggest things that I want us to like resurrect in our business is that client experience. And it's not just during the transaction. It's like, these are people that you want in your life. You know, they're going to refer you business. They're going to hopefully buy and sell from you again.
Because there's nothing that feels worse than when you're getting that referral and you're like, who sent you?
Yeah.
Not as if you can't remember who they are, but
No,
like,
it's like
I haven't spoken to them in a year. And then you're like, oh, it just feels like you've got egg on your face. You know?
It was so like when we did our end of year client appreciation, like get together, that photo.
Yeah.
That event was in December or November. We saw clients that we hadn't seen since before COVID.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. Yeah. To see some of these people and it was great. Like I missed that. And I remember how good it felt having these relationships and being so giving to our clients and the time we spent with our clients and stuff like that. I just feel like it helps your mindset, helps you grow the business.
And it grew fast when we were really, really like narrowly focused on that itself, like that client experience, the client journey. Like nothing grew our business faster than that.
Yeah. So that's what I want to like just get back to is spending more time with the people that matter. Yeah. You know, the clients and friends and family that have helped support our business over the years, like those people. I want to make sure that we like really implement a really good client experience and even like the transactional side of it too. You know, I want to revamp our closing gifts. You know, we used to have someone who helped us do that and then they got out of that because their family grew. So like, even that part of our business, like while we still have taken care of our clients at the end of all closings, it's just not what I want it to be. Yeah. It's not as personal like it used to be. So it's just from top to bottom. I want to like kind of like go through it all and make sure that when people are done purchasing or selling a home with us, one, that experience was like something that they are, you know, so excited about. And then two, something where they just are continuing to be a part of our lives so that they will continue to, you know, tell people about how great our business is and help us grow more. I don't know if that makes sense. That's like where my mind is, but it's like it's a lot. But it's just like, it's the basics.
It is the basics.
But in my head, there's like all sorts of stuff I want to do, but it's just the basic part of business. Like it's, you know.
Yeah. And it's funny because like I work with realtors literally all week going through the exact same thing. And then as soon as it's your business, like it's a little different. Like, well, it's just like,
we've had it all built.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, with the last 18 months, things have shifted in our lives that it's time for us to look back at where things are in our business and essentially polish it up. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not necessarily like a complete rebuild. Yeah. But we are starting from like, again, top to bottom. We're going to go through it all. Yeah. And especially, you know, right now, there's like business, I do feel like things are picking up again already.
Well, and I'm hopeful that we can do a lot of good systems work before the market demands a lot of us again.
Which is that's where I was going. Exactly. Yeah. Like I feel like things are moving a little bit right now, but like if you're not slammed with business, like that's the time and the opportunity to improve your business. Yeah. Especially if it's not costly stuff. If it's just recreating the system or fine tuning the system or, you know,
just templating those emails, thinking about how you want to like have your follow-up set up for when you do get clients. Exactly. And it's funny. I think about that a lot. Like, what should you be doing when you have little to no clients? You should be working even harder than you normally are. If you have little to no clients, it's not even like the time to be like searching and crawling after anybody with a pulse who might be buying or selling. You need to be looking at your business and in the business of building your business. Yeah. Like that's what you need to be doing. And we really couldn't couldn't do that over the last year and a half like we normally would. We would have time delegated to just kind of like think about what we wanted to do or what we wanted to implement. And all of that time vanished because even we were busy with clients, of course, and busy with the family stuff. And the need for that doesn't go away. Well, I want to acknowledge you, Mr. Lugo, because you are the best realtor ever, number one. And I don't say that lightly because I do get to see a lot of other realtors. I hear their stories. I hear how they overcome challenges. You are in your element in real estate. And I feel really lucky because not a lot of partners, not a lot of like married couples get to see each other in their zone of business, in their zone of genius. And it is the coolest thing when I see you rock out or just really finesse a transaction. Whereas if I wasn't in the business, I'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like I wouldn't understand it the way I do.
Sure.
You're so good. And it's so cool when even cross agents on the other side of the transaction say that to you as well, because like other people get to notice that as well. And I'm just really proud of you for holding down the fort like you have.
Thank you.
You have put so much on your shoulders with the real estate business and stepping into market authority to really support there over the last year when I really needed you to. And I couldn't do anything that I do well without you.
Well, our real estate business wouldn't be where it is without you.
Love you.
We've built a very, very good business.
We did. I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else.
It's fun, right?
It is fun.
So, but, we can make it better.
Yeah.
2024, I think we can make it better for both MAA and, our real estate business. There's a lot of fine tuning and polishing up that we can improve and keep serving our clients, right?
Let's do it. So along with the next new things that we're doing in 2024, I want to continue having you here on the show. I want to keep up these conversations. You have so much perspective and like really cool stories, and I want to share those with others because I really enjoy listening to your experiences and stuff. So hopefully we can continue this.
Yeah, we can do some more of these and have fun and just kind of like talk about what's going on and share stories.
Yeah. And we'll be documenting our back to basics revamp in 2024 on Instagram. So follow us at Bryce and Stephanie on the gram.
Yep.
To watch us do it.
Cool.
As we do.
Thanks. That was fun.
It was really fun.